Thanks for joining me. My name is Doug Grummins. I'm running solo today, but it should be a interesting talk because the talk that I want to share with you today is more about the levels of awakening and what it means to be a Buddha, an awakened person, versus someone who feels awoken in a different sense, not in the sense that they're uh, reunited with God. But I have to first say that no matter what I say, or no matter what anyone said or has said in all of history, there is no pathway, there is no highway leading to enlightenment, to leading to the reuniting of yourselves and God. No one can say anything, nobody can do anything. All we can do is try to hint to get you onto your own path, which is the right path. Because each of us are so uh, individually made and uniquely made that no two paths can be the same. And no Buddha basically has ever left a pathway. No enlightened person has left a pathway. We leave hints to try to get you and focused on your own path, but that's different from like the Christian theology, where it's kind of like a super highway leading to God. But if you've noticed in existence that those that have realized God are very few, and very just a handful out of the billions of people that have existed in the last, say, 100 years or whatever. So I'm going to tell y'all a little story because I know y'all love my stories. But this story is the story of us all. And when I explain this story to you, the first time I read this story about maybe 10 years ago, and it didn't, the two parts of the story didn't click for me for some reason. I don't know why. I just didn't remember the essence or the beauty of this story. So I'm going to share it again, and I'll do my best to share the essence of the story and help you to understand what this is all about. So the story goes like this. Okay, so there was a mystic who lived near the woods. His hut was by the woods, and there was a woodsman who every day the mystic would watch him go into the forest, cut wood, cut some trees and cut some wood, take it back and sell it in the marketplace for pennies, making very little money. He was very poor. And the mystic felt sorry for the poor woodsman and said to him one day, he walked up to him and said, "Hey, I've been watching you cut wood for many years now, but I think there's something more you should know. That if you go a little deeper into the forest, there's a copper mine. And if you mine the copper out of this mine, you'll make more money than you would if you just cut wood." So the forest woodcutter said, "Okay, I'll check it out." And he did. He walked a little bit deeper into the forest, farther than he normally went into the forest, and found this copper mine. So he started mining copper. And this made him very happy. He made more money than he did when he was selling wood. So this went on for a little bit, and the mystic felt still like, hey, there's more this guy can do. So he told the guy the next time he saw him, the woodcutter, the coppersmith, he told him the next time he saw him, hey, if you go just a little bit deeper into the woods, there's a silver mine, and silver will make you a lot more money than copper would. So intrigued by the offer and thinking, hey, that maybe this might be a better thing for me, the woodsman went in and found the silver mine and started mining the silver. And this made him wealthy. He had some wealth to him now. He had a little bit of more enjoyment from his fruits of his labor. And I guess he got caught up in that, because the mystic, the next time he saw him, said, hey, I know the silver mine makes you a lot of money, but if you go a little deeper into the forest, you'll find this gold mine. And the gold will make you a lot richer than the silver would. So at this point, our woodsman got a little greedy, and he's had this taste of money now. So now he knows that what it's like to desire more. And the woodsman became a goldsmith and sold gold in the marketplace, and at that point he started getting a big house and all kinds of nice belongings and everything, and people became more interested in him and stuff because seemed like he was very rich. At least on the outside, he was very rich. And the mystic saw this and said to him, "Hey, I know you're very rich with your palaces and your, horses and everything else you own now, but there's a diamond mine just a little bit deeper into the forest. And if you find that diamond mine, then you could be extremely rich." Okay, so the woodsman found the diamond mine and mined the diamonds and became extremely rich. At least on the outside, he was extremely rich. But then one day the mystic said to him, go deeper into the forest and find the mines that are inside you, the diamond mines that are inside of you, versus the ones that are exterior. And the woodsman at this point was so much into greed and so much into money. He said, I have no desire to search the inner diamonds. And the inner diamonds are things like meditation and awareness and love and compassion. All these things are inner wealth that the woodsman didn't have. He had all these outside wealths and made him very rich, but inside he was empty. He had nothing. He was just, but that was okay for him because that's just the way society was, and it still is in these days. And for the woodsman to search out these inner diamonds, he would have to be less concerned about the other things, about the gold or the silver or the diamonds, or for even that matter, the wood. And if you want to be wealthy in this life spiritually, then you have to give up the material things for these spiritual growths. And things like prosperity teachings or how you say, awakenings that you think are happening before you've reached God. The true awakening happens when you reunite with God, when you and God dissolve into each other and become one again. And the experience is a virgin experience. Every single time it happens, it's like God is a completely new virgin every time. Every time a person becomes enlightened, God is like fresh and brand new. And the whole experience is like, each one is so different from the other that it makes it so beautiful, and it keeps it special. Because if 1,000 or 1,000,000 people showed up on God's doorstep, and there were millions of footpaths and foot imprints all the way up to the kingdom of heaven's door, then it would lose its speciality. The vibrance of the lone journey would be over. But as you can see in society nowadays, there is really no super highway to godliness. There's super highways to being close to God, or being about God, or in the essence of God, but no union. So none of these people they may have gotten up to God's doorstep, but they never stepped into the house. And when you step into the house, you dissolve. You're gone. I mean, you come back as a different person. And that's the beauty of what enlightenment is, the union with God. And don't give up with all these things like the gold or the diamonds or the silver. Don't settle for these like gifts that you're given on the journey towards meeting God, because those are all going to be hindrances towards that final step of reuniting with God. They're temptations to pull you and and not really stop you from experiencing godliness, but they're there to test you to see if you're ready yet. And one day you'll just get fed up with the gold and silver and diamonds, and you realize that there's no inner wealth to it, and you'll experience um, solitude and gratitude the day that you come to this realization that uh, it's time to work on yourself and be yourself, and go into meditation, go into awareness and practicing awareness. When I say practice awareness, I'm like just, even watching your hands move gently and slowly. You just become aware of the hand opening, the hand closing things, and just watch things. And you become the watcher of these things as you're working or as you're playing or whatever you like to do or whatever you're doing right now. Just be the watcher and observe what's going on. Um, I guess you can tell I'm a little sunburnt. um, I had a surf lesson uh, Saturday, and then Sunday I went to Waco to the pool. Me and my friend Rick went to the pool, and we had this great trip and had these in-depth spiritual conversations on the way to the pool. And that's the beauty, even though it's a 4-hour drive, when you're talking about things you like and that you have in common with somebody, then the, it makes it quite interesting. But there's no spiritual one-upmanship or anything like that. It's just a sharing of what we've experienced and what we've been through, what we've read, and what we comprehend, and how we can share that with the other person. And it works both ways. I don't know how long it's been yet, but so that's the story of the woodsman. And I think it's the story of us all, because we're all distracted by material things, and we want spiritual wealth, but we are either too scared or maybe just too greedy to desire inner wealth. Maybe we're still stuck up on the other things. And that's another thing about the journey, is like, is it all set up to be a test? Because it seems like it. It does seem like uh, materialistic things pull you away from your center, pull you away from this nowness, this centering um, on awareness, if that makes sense. Uh, okay, well, I'm gonna pause for a second and put it on mic so I can take a sip of my drink and it won't be rude. Okay, I am back. Check out this cool watch I found. It's like a military grade watch. It was laying in the street and it wasn't working. I wound it up and it started working for a little bit. But after about 6 hours, it stopped telling time again. um, and it wasn't the winding mechanism or anything like that. It's just, I think that the owner of this watch just threw it out in the street because it didn't work anymore. But it's weird in life. It's like, um, I found this watch and it seemed like luck was on my side. And every time I wore the watch, some good things would happen to me. Now, I have to ask yourself, okay, so if you didn't have the watch on that day and you did the same things that you did, would it seem lucky, or would it just seem like, that's just the way life is? Would anything have been any different if I didn't touch the watch? And then shortly after that, a couple weeks or a couple months actually after I found the watch, um, I was walking around a field around a football stadium, and I found a pencil in the grass, and a pretty new pencil. So I picked it up and kept it. And it seemed like I had bad luck for the next few days. And I'm like, okay, so I got a lucky watch, but I got an unlucky pencil. So I put the pencil down and I don't mess with it anymore. But every time I pick up this watch, I just like this good feeling comes over me that I have this I don't know, not like an angel looking out over me or anything like that, but I don't know. It's funny like that in life. It's like, are are things really good luck, or is it just coincidence? Um, I wonder what science would say. Anyway, I guess I'll end it with that today and say thank you for sharing a few moments with me, and I pray that you think about uh, creating your own path. Um, they say that there are many paths up the mountain, but even with as many paths that have been carved out before you, sometimes we have to carve our own way because the journey gets very steep, and each each time you go up higher on your journey towards your spirituality, um, it's not like you lose friends, but you have to leave people at a certain level that are not ready to go up to the next level. So you might be all spiritual and growing and on this path, and everything seems beautiful for you, and you've experienced gifts and whatever not. But remember, those gifts are like the gold and the silver and the diamonds um, of the material world. They're still temptations. uh, and I've shared this also, and I know it's kind of deep and kind of hard for some people to understand, but when you get up into the levels of samadhi, um, you're given the gifts of the third eye, having sight, and the what you call it, the third ear, basically. There's an inner ear that hears things and um, can sense things that normal people couldn't. But the the first and second layer of samadhi, like I said, have to do with the throat chakra and the third eye chakra. They're temptations to pull you away from the real diamonds. Um, the real diamonds is the highest level of samadhi, the third and the last. And there's nothing I can tell you about that. It's an experience that you have to go through in order to understand or believe what I'm talking about. And I know that's way far off in the future for a lot of people, but it's just there. It's ready for you. I wouldn't be scared of it. If you face it without fear, then twice as much can happen twice as fast. But if you're in fear of these things, um, some people fear things from the East. Some people fear things they just don't understand or don't believe or are just too afraid to accept. Anyway, I promised I would end this now. So anyway, thank you again for joining me, and I appreciate your time and your patience for listening to this story. We'll stream again pretty soon, but for now, I'm out. Take care of yourselves. Love and kisses. Uh, Aloha and mahalos to all you surfing fans and people out there, and blue skies to all you skydivers, and yeah, much love to everybody. Take care of yourselves now. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.